That energy carried me down the stairs into the kitchen. "Hey, hey!" My dad popped his head around the corner, a cup of steaming coffee in his hand. His hair was a messy mop of curls, so different from mine. I inherited my straight refuses to curl, yet as infuriatingly thick hair from my mom. "Easy there. We just got those floors in." "We got them in like a year ago, Dad," I said. Anyway, the hardwood guy said we could tap dance in stilettos and it wouldn't matter. My dad chuckled. "There's that steel trap of a mind that I wish you didn't have." "You love it," I said. "The car salesman last weekend hated me. I'm a fabulous asset." My dad took a long sip of his coffee. "That you are. Where's the fire? You're ahead of schedule for the day. I bet Money hasn't even showered yet." A bang, and the sound of shuffling feet came from upstairs. "That's Money," I said. Then came the yelling. "And Ratna. Cue the fighting. 1, 2, 3. "Get out of here!" Ratna's voice carried down the steps, to the kitchen, and probably out to our neighbors as well. I ignored the chaos and tried to think, rummaging through the kitchen drawers. Ballpoint pens, paper clips, scissors, and... there we were. I pulled out the final touch I needed for my proposal, an old collector's quarter I had hidden away from my sisters. Ratna's special talent was finding anything you didn't want found and then somehow losing it. I had avoided that whole mess by hiding it in the cutlery drawer, somewhere she would never want to look. I held out the quarter and admired it. Well, I didn't really get it, but I knew Jake had been looking for this last quarter, the 2004 Wisconsin State quarter, with that squiggly little extra leaf. It was all he'd talked about during tennis warm-ups for the past 6 months. We'd had pretty much the perfect meet-cute. It had been the first day of tryouts for tennis, and we'd knocked heads going for the same down-the-middle ball. And when we got paired as partners for mixed doubles matches, I knew it was a sign from the universe that it was meant to be. We'd been talking for a while now, and today was the day. My mom walked into the kitchen then, white coat draped over one arm and keys in hand. She wasn't particularly tall. None of the women in our family were. But she had a presence. Everything from her short collarbone-length haircut to her sleek shoes and precisely applied makeup screamed, "I have my life together." She snapped her phone shut and sighed. "It's worse than I thought, Suraj." She stopped the second she saw me, her eyes going wide. "What is?" I said, even though these days there was only one reason my mom took secretive phone calls, and it didn't have to do with her book deal, which Ratna found out about in a day and told all of us about. She had totally stolen my mom's thunder. "How's she doing?" My mom sighed and rubbed her temple. "Your aunt's okay. Doing well, actually. Starting a new yoga retreat, I think. Or maybe it was a meditation workshop." "Still on that finding herself kick?" my dad said. I thought I heard him snort, but when I turned around, he looked innocently out the window. I grabbed 2 slices of whole wheat bread and popped them into the toaster. "It's not a kick, Suraj," my mom said, swatting at his shoulder. "Or not much of one. You know what the past few years did to her. It takes time after something like that to figure out what you want, to make a new plan." A few years ago, just as I was about to enter high school, my aunt had come to stay with us out of the blue. It took a few days before I learned that my aunt's marriage of 6 years had fallen apart, and my aunt with it. My beautiful, lively, free-spirited aunt's entire life had vanished in front of her eyes, just because she had decided to give her heart away to the wrong person. That was a mistake I wasn't going to make. I looked out to the garden as I prepped breakfast, tomato chutney and butter on sourdough, for my grandma. I knew she'd be gardening later. I was used to seeing her small sari-clad figure tending the flowers with a care that edged on reverential. I still remembered when my aunt's news first broke. My grandma had spent day and night out there, taking it on herself to rebuild our patchy, dying garden, like it might fix my aunt's marriage. It hadn't, but my grandma hadn't stopped her habit of spending the morning with her flowers and plants, which was probably why we had a